right? Multiple products. November 2017, question number 1B. Are we there, all of us? Have we gotten that question? Have we gotten that question? Tumepata ama tujapata? Hawajaamuka vizuri. By the way, mshakunywa chai kweli? Mmekunywa chai kweli? Ama niwatafute kombe moja? You know, the goodness with these online classes, I can easily throw a cup of coffee online as well. Yes, there is M-Pesa. So please be jovial. So November 2017, question number 1B. Have we gotten that question? November 2017, question number 1B. November 2017, question number 1B. Do we have that question? Okay, am I muted? If you have it, you simply say, yes, I have it. Yes, I have it. Do we have it? Do we have it? Do we have it? Do we have that question? Yes, thank you very much. Now, we are told here, Sorry Limited produces and sells 3 products, A, B, and C. Sorry Limited has contracts to supply products A, B, and C, A, B, and C, A, B, and C, A and B, which utilize all the specific materials that are available to make these 2 products during the next year. The revenue that these contracts will generate and the contributions to sales ratios of products A and B have been given there. So we have A, we have B. They have given us, ladies and gentlemen, for these 2 products here, they have given us their revenues. They have given us their revenues, like A, ladies and gentlemen, is 10 million, A is 10 million, B is 20 million. Then they have given me the CS ratio, the contribution to sales ratio. This is the same as CMR. This is the same as contribution margin ratio. And the CMR for A, they have told me, is 15%. And ladies and gentlemen, for B, they have told me it is 10%. They haven't given me information about what year C. On that table, that is. Product C, we are told, will generate a contribution to sales ratio of 25%. So product C, CMR is 25%. Is 25%. And then, ladies and gentlemen, they're telling us here that the total fixed cost is 5.5 million during the next year. And the management has budgeted to earn a profit of 1 million. What revenue should be generated by C for Sorry Limited to achieve the budgeted profit of 1 million? So, ladies and gentlemen, it is the revenue of C that we do not know. So we let that one to be equal to what here? We let that one to be equal to X. We let that one to be equal to, X. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen. Whenever you see revenue and you are seeing CMR somewhere, whenever you see revenue and you are seeing CMR somewhere, always multiply the 2. Multiply the 2 for you to be able to give us what we normally call the total contribution. The total contribution. So please multiply these 2 for you to give us what? So whenever you see revenue and you are seeing, ladies and gentlemen, contribution to sales, you are seeing CMR, contribution margin ratio, always multiply them. Why am I saying that we need to multiply this? Ladies and gentlemen, remember, please recall that CMR, to get CMR, we normally take CM over what year? Over price. Or, if you can again recall, to get this CMR from the perspective of totality, CMR will be equal to total contribution all over total sales. Total contribution all over total sales. So please remember that CMR, ladies and gentlemen, CMR stands for what? Yes, CMR stands for contribution margin ratio. CMR stands for contribution margin ratio. So to get this total contribution, or rather to get this CMR, we can decide to use the 1 unit approach or the total sales approach. Total sales approach. And that is why, if you look at this keenly, this is the same as what we are saying here is that CMR equals C over what here? C over S. CMR equals total contributions over total sales. The same thing here, CSR, CS, like that. Contribution over sales. Ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. Listen and listen to me very well. Out of this, could you kindly make total sales the subject, or rather total contribution the subject? If you make total contribution the subject, then what you're going to get here, it will be CMR times who? Times total sales. CMR times total sales. It will be CMR times total sales. So total contribution, and this is something that I would want you to go ahead and block. Go ahead and block it. The total contribution equals contribution margin ratio times total sales. The person who taught me this thing told me something very nice. He told me that whenever you see sales, or rather revenue, you can even call this one here sales revenue for avoidance of confusion, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you see sales revenue and you are seeing CMR, to get total contribution, what should we do? Multiply the two. So if we multiply the two, what is 10 times 15%? Can somebody give me this figure here? 10 times 15%. 10 times 15%. Somebody give me this figure. 10 times 15%. Kindly give me these figures. I can only get that figure from one student, and I know we are great. 19 members of this great team who are here. So they're giving me a figure of 1.5 million. Thank you very much. How about this boy? Boy, I can see it is 2. How about cow? The total contribution from cow will be 0.25x. Thank you, and thank you very much. And therefore, the total contribution from the 3 products, the total contribution from the 3 products will be 1.5 plus 2 plus 0.25x, which will end up giving us, in this case here, 3.5. 3.5 plus 0.25x, which is very important for me. So I've been able to get the total contribution equation, very nicely. Now listen, alternatively. Can I delete this? Can I wrap 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 this? So we've been able to get the total contribution arising out of what here? Our 3 products. Thank you very much. Alternatively, we can easily get our total contribution this way. We can easily get our total. So alternatively, we can easily get our total contribution. We know that profit equals CMX minus what here? F. Our profit, we know, ladies and gentlemen, we know that our profit equals CMX minus what here? Minus fixed cost. Our profit equals CMX minus fixed cost. Ladies and gentlemen, what do I want to imply? That our profit here equals total contribution minus what here, somebody? Minus fixed cost. So I would want you to make total contribution the subject of the formula. Could you kindly make total contribution the subject of our formula? If you make total contribution the subject of our formula, our total contribution will be the profit that we have here. This has to cross over. Profit plus what here? Plus fixed cost. For those of you who have just joined us, we are doing November 2017, question number 1B. November 2017, question number 1B. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen here. Have they given us the profit that they are desiring to achieve? Yes, they have done that. They have told us in note number 3. In note number 3, they have told us the management has budgeted to earn a profit of 1 million shillings. So remember, our figures are in millions. So the profit they are targeting to earn is 1 million. Yes, 1 million, 1 million, plus, ladies and gentlemen, plus fixed cost. What is the fixed cost, ladies and gentlemen? They are intending, or rather they are prospecting to incur. In note number 2, they have told us the total fixed cost is 5.5. The total fixed cost is 5.5. So this will end up giving us what year? This will end up giving us 6.5 what year? 6.5 million. This will end up giving us 6.5 million. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen. A good student gets this concept here once and for all. Whenever I hear of contributions, if it is, for example, contributions from my students here, I'll always know that the contributions that my students make here, automatically they are going to cover two things: fixed costs and our profits. Fixed cost and our profit. So whenever we talk of total contribution, always know that total contribution normally takes care of these two things. But there is a place you also told us that total contribution equals 3.5 plus 0.25x. Is there anybody who is able to remember this equation? Is there anybody who is able to remember this equation? Is there anybody who is able to remember this equation? Is there anybody who is able to remember that equation? Yes. Therefore, 6.5, because this is total contribution and this is total contribution. Therefore, 6.5 will be equal to 3.5 plus 0.25x. 6.5 equals 3.5 plus 0.25x. So, ladies and gentlemen, then this one here will be 6.5 minus 3.5 equals 0.25x. Because I'm trying to put constants together. I'm trying to put constants together. So, ladies and gentlemen, if that is the case, then my x here will be equal to what? What is 6.5 minus 3.5? 3, yes, 3. Thank you, Mombi, 3. So then this is 3 equals 0.25x, implying that x will be 3 over 0.25, which will end up giving us what figure, somebody? Which will end up giving us what figure? 12. Thank you very much, Edward. 12 like that. So it means that for C, for them to be able to pay their fixed overheads nicely and earn their profit of 1 million, they have to endeavor to sell goods worth 12 million for product C, for product C. So now we have answered the question, yes. We have answered the question. So for those of you who have got access to our videos, I've done the same question using another approach. So I would want you to also watch, or rather if you are comfortable with this approach, you stick with it. Whichever that you think in this case here will work for you. But what have we learned in that question? That anytime you see sales and you're seeing CMR, even if you don't know anything in that question, multiply the two. That is quite key for me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still not yet done with you in terms of what here, these three products thing. This three products thing is something that I can guarantee you. As you read, please always be checking the CVP. Be checking on these three products concept here. Like now this one, although this one is quite an easy one, we need to do tough things, not very easy things. May 2014, May 2014, May 2014, May 2014, May 2014, question number, May 2014, question number 3C. May 2014, question number 3C. Three products case. May 2014, May 2014, question number 3C. May 2014, question number 3C. May 2014, question number 3C. Do we have access to that question? If we don't have access to the question, anybody who has already gotten access, you take a snapshot of that question and then you throw it to our WhatsApp group. Great. But from the look of things, I see these students of mine have that question and it's like they know how to do the question. It's like they don't want Mwalimu to do the question, because when I look at it, really, it's quite a simple thing. We don't have Mengich. Mengich doesn't have the question. Can somebody in this case here take a snapshot of that? Somebody take a snapshot of that, and then you send it straight away. You send it straight away to our WhatsApp group. I would have loved to do that, but you see now here I am admitting students, trying as much as possible to look at the camera, right? Somebody told me that a teacher who doesn't look at the camera fears students. That is a very good sign of what here? Stage fright, which is very bad. Fortunately, I don't have it. I don't have any stage fright. At my age, of course, I can't be fearing people. Great, they've gotten, thank you very much. Now we can continue. A company sells two products, X and Y, with the contribution margin ratios of 40% and 30%. So this is quite an interesting one. So we have here X and Y. They have given us contribution margin ratios. They're telling us that the contribution margin ratios for X and Y are 0.4 and 0.3 respectively. 0.4 and 0.3 respectively. The selling prices of the products are 50 and 25. So they have given me the SP, 50 and 25. 50 and 25. Fixed costs amount to 720,000 a month. Fixed costs are 720,000 a month, and monthly sales average 30,000 and 40,000 units respectively. So we have here quantity to be sold. We have 30,000, 40,000, like that, units respectively, 30,000 and 40,000 units respectively. Assuming that 3 units of product X are sold for every 4 units of product Y, calculate the sales volume in shillings and in units necessary to break even. Necessary to break even. That is quite a simple question, but from what I normally see from answer sheets of students, very few students will be able to get this question right. Very few students will be able to get this question right. Very few. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm the one doing this, here I'm seeing CMR, I'm seeing selling price, so I'll multiply the two. I'm seeing CMR, I'm seeing selling price, I'll multiply the two. And because, ladies and gentlemen, whatever we have here is for 1 unit. Selling price is per unit. So in short, what I'll be getting here will be called contribution margin, which will be CMR times selling price. CMR times selling price. Remember from what we said. We said that CMR equals CM over what here? Over price. CMR equals CM over price. CMR equals CM over price. And if you try making CM the subject, then it will be CMR times price. If I were you, I would have written this thing somewhere, just separate there. And then if possible, block it like that. If possible, block it like that. If possible, block it like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment I have this, then I should be able to get the CM. Could you kindly help me get the CM? This times this. This times this. Give me a figure to write there. So Mengich tells me it is 20, and then we have Y 0.3 times 25. I can't understand what Lokai is trying to tell me times 20. Lokai, are we to, oh, the answer 20. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. Here, I happen to be having 2 contribution margins. So it's a composite thing. It's a compound thing. And if it's a compound thing, whenever you've got many contribution margins, then you need to come and combine them. You need to come and combine them, and then you average. But please don't tell me that Mwalimu, take 20 plus 7.5 divided by 2. No. What I want is WACM. Because there are many, I have to put them together through what we call weighted average method. So I would want weighted average contribution margin. I would want weighted average contribution margin. Can somebody give me the formula for getting this weighted average contribution margin? Weighted average contribution margin. What is the formula for getting weighted average contribution margin? Weighted average contribution margin. Weighted average contribution margin. So weighted average contribution margin, what will I do? I'll take weight of the first product multiplied by contribution margin of the first product, plus weight of the second product multiplied by contribution margin of the second product. And the weights, indeed, this examiner has given me the weights. The examiner has given me the weights. Weights, in this case, he has told us for every 3 units of X we sell, we shall be selling how many units of Y? 4. For every 3 units of X we sell, we shall be selling 4 units of Y. We shall be selling 4 units of Y. So then these weights, if you add them, of course, the weights are normally proportions. This total here will be 7. If you add the 2, it will be 7. So then the weight here will be 3 over 7. This will be 4 over 7. 3 over 7, 4 over 7. Ladies and gentlemen, even this examiner ought not to have told you about the 3 and the 4, which he told you in this particular note. There is a place he has told you. There is a place he has told you there. There is a place he has told you that there's a place he said in the question itself, assuming that 3 units of X are sold for every 4 units of what here? Of Y. For every 4 units of Y. For every 4 units of what here? Of Y. It's upon you to know that normally weights are obtained from the quantity to be sold, because there is always a lot of weight on sales. The more you sell, the better off you are. The more of a product you sell, the higher the weight it should be having. So if you look at this quantity sold, if you are to deduct, or rather to just chop off the zeros, you'll be left with the 3 to 4. Many examiners will never tell you this, right? So ladies and gentlemen, please come and plug in the figures so that our WACM will be equal to the weight of the first product is 3 over 7 multiplied by contribution margin of the first product, which is 20, plus weight of the second product, 4 over 7, times contribution margin 2, which is what here, 7.5. Could you kindly give me this answer? Kindly give me this answer. Kindly give me this answer. Yeah, we are doing May 2014 question number 3C, and if you don't have it already, we have been able to screenshot the question and through it inside our WhatsApp group. So Carol tells me 12.88. I don't buy that, because I know for WACM, you know from experience, you should be knowing those things that need many decimal places. Like WACM is one of those things. Like in learning curves B is another thing that needs more decimal places, 4 or 5. So here I would expect many decimal places. For WACM, I expect many decimal places. I had 12.8571. 12.8571. Thank you. Thank you. Now, having gotten this composite, WACM is not lost on me what this examiner wants me to ascertain. This examiner wants me to get X break even. He wants me to get X break even. But now, is there any student here who is able to remember the formula of X break even? Is there any student who is able to remember the formula of X break even? Is there any student who is able to remember the formula of X break even? X break even equals who? X break even, quantity to sell to break even. X break even equals who? Ladies and gentlemen, X break even will be equal to fixed cost over WACM. Why WACM? Because this time around we are talking of multiple products, 2 of them, multiple products. So has this examiner given me the fixed cost of this organization? Do we have the fixed cost of this organization? Do we have the fixed cost of this organization? Yes, it is 720,000. It is 720,000 divided by my WACM, which is 12.8571. So could you kindly give me this number of units? Remember, X stands for number of what year? Number of units. So 720,000. So Carol tells me that these will be exactly equal to 56,000 units, especially if you used a bigger figure than even that. Mombi also is confirming that 56,000 units. Ladies and gentlemen, a student who gets an award, a student who will end up getting an award will be that student who reads a question more than once. So if you go to this particular question, ladies and gentlemen, you'll bear witness with me that this examiner wanted us to ascertain the break-even quantity and the break-even sales revenue. Break-even in terms of number of units and a break-even in terms of money. Read the question again. 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 So what do we have, ladies and gentlemen? We are told here, calculate the sales volume in shillings, calculate the sales volume in shillings, and what here in units. Whatever you have is the break-even point in units. So then can somebody help me to ascertain the break-even point in Kenya shillings? What do you think am I going to do to be able to get the break-even point in Kenya shillings? What do you think shall I do to be able to convert this to Kenya shillings? Somebody talk to me this morning. What do you think shall I do to be able to convert this to Kenya shillings? Somebody talk to me this morning. There are many ways of killing a rat. One of them is to appreciate that whenever you give me a quantity to change this, that's another way, Elim, to change this to money, I'll come and multiply this with what here with price, i.e. with prices, i.e. we are saying that sales revenue should be equal to price times quantity. Yeah, price times quantity. There are very many ways. Price times quantity. But now remember that this quantity is a composite. So it means, ladies and gentlemen, that the price, because there are two of them, then this price must also be what here? A composite. It must be weighted average price. Weighted average price. So then how do we get this weighted average price? To get weighted average price, ladies and gentlemen, what I'll do, I'll take weight 1, price 1, plus weight 2, price 2. Fortunately, I have the weight. So this is 3/7 times price 1. Price 1, I know the selling price is 50, plus weight 2, which will be 4/7 times price 2, which is 25. Could you kindly give me this answer? Could you kindly give me this answer? So I'm getting a composite price. So please, Mumbi, in this area, you have to give me many decimal places. This is an area of many decimal places. The more the decimal places, the better for us. So somebody called Elim tells me it's 35.7143. I'm waiting for someone else to confirm this figure. Thank you very much. So then please go back here. Please go back here. Please go back here. So whatever figure that you guys have given me here, I will take it 35.7143 times 56,000. Please give me an answer. 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 Yeah, Mumbi tells me, of course, say for rounding off errors, this should be what here? This should be 2 million shillings. Let's see whether we have answered the question. Let's read the question. Let's read the question again. They wanted us to tell them, calculate the sales volume in shillings and in units to break even. So that we have already done. And there are so many ways of doing this thing, ladies and gentlemen. Some other student will come and tell you, no, Mwalimu, I don't like that method, is bad. That method is bad. What if, Mwalimu, I come and we know that the break-even quantity is 56,000. What if I come and split this into 2? So that we know out of these, how many units of X do we have and how many units of Y do we have? And the splitting criteria is our proportions. We have 3/7, we have 4/7. Can somebody tell me the units of X and the units of Y? Out of this 56,000 times 3/7, could you kindly tell me then how many units of X do we have here? 56,000 times 3/7. Somebody help me out. Somebody help me out. What do we have there? Yeah, David tells me 24,000. 24,000. How about Y? Y, we have 56,000 times 4/7, which gives me, not 24. 32,000. Thank you very much. Such that when you add the two, you'll end up getting what here? 56,000 units in total. And then, ladies and gentlemen, now we appreciate that we happen to be having the selling prices per what? Per unit. We happen to be having the selling prices per unit. So let's convert this to money. Remember, these are units. These are units. We convert them to money. Who can give me the selling price of X? Who can give me the selling price of X? 50. So this is 50. How about selling price of Y? If I remember very well, the selling price of Y was 25. Selling price of Y was 25. Thank you very much. So could you kindly give me the respective revenues of these products? Kindly give me the respective revenues of these products. What do we have there, somebody? So Mumbi tells me 1.2 million. The first one. The first one is 1.2 million. How about the second one? 800,000. 800,000. So when you add the two, you will end up getting what here, somebody? You will end up getting 2 million. You will end up getting 2 million as the break even, the break even point in shillings. This is also allowed. The one that we happen, if we see these, you will straight away get it wrong. Okay, before I go to that, which in this case he has made so many students to hit the road towards a wrong direction, allow me to show you another method, a third method. And then I'll be able to tell you why over 50% of the students will always get this question wrong. I'll tell you why over 50% of the students will always get this question wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. For me to be able to get this is a very important method. Revenue break even, there is a direct formula. The direct formula ni gani? Ili unachukua fixed costs over CMR. Fixed costs over what year? CMR. But now remember that we are in an environment of what year? Many products. Environment of many products, lazima unaweka ile alama ya mshanga, unastuka, unasema wa. So unasema WA, wa like that. WA, CMR. WA, CMR. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember there are things that you're supposed to know. There are things here that you're supposed to know. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this examiner had given us, the weights. So we have the two products, XY. We have the weights here, 3747, and they had given us the CMRs or the CS ratios for the two products. They gave us what, ladies and gentlemen, here. What they gave us here, ladies and gentlemen, was 40% and 30%, 0.4 and 0.3. 0.4 and 0.3. So what we normally tell the markers in CASNEV, ukiona mwanafunzi amesema at WACMR equals weight 1 times CMR 1 plus weight 2 times CMR 2, hata usiendelee kusoma mbele. Weka wrong. Usiendelee waste time because tuko na so many papers to mark. Don't waste your time kusoma karatasi ya mwanafunzi ameandika kitu kama hii. At WACMR equals weight 1 times CMR 1 plus weight 2 times CMR 2. This is something, if you do it straight away, you get 0 in the entire question because it's never allowed for us to combine the contribution margins that way. Let's continue with this. It's wrong, but let's just continue with it. So the weight here will be 3/7 times CMR 1, which is 0.4, plus 4/7 times CMR, which is 0.3. Could you kindly give me this answer? Ita end up kuwa ngapi, somebody? Ita end up kuwa ngapi, somebody? Ita end up kuwa ngapi, somebody? WACMR. Please give me the answer. I said it's wrong, and I would want you to appreciate it's wrong from the word go, because I've seen brilliant students going this way, and automatically this is a road to poverty. 0.34, 0.3429, 0.3429, 0.3429. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is, if you have written, it's important that you write it. It's important that you write this, and then you put a wrong. And if possible, if possible in your mother tongue, you should be able to tell us that this is a method that I should never use. This is a method that I should never use. I can even pinch myself a little bit as I write this. Because if you go that way, ladies and gentlemen, you'll always be wrong. Now listen, listen, listen. This is the proper approach of getting WACMR. To get CMR, the normal CMR, the normal contribution margin ratio, we normally take contribution margin over price. We normally take contribution margin over price. To get CMR, we normally take contribution margin over what year? Over price. Ladies and gentlemen, to get, in this case, if there are many products, unashtuka throughout, unasema like that. This is the better, this is a very good approach, the correct approach. So to get WACMR, we normally take WACM all over WAP, all over WAP. So is there somebody from our previous workings? Is there anybody who is able to remember the WACM? Is there somebody who is able to remember the WACM? There's a figure that we had. There's a figure that we had. WACM equals what? Somebody here. WACM equals what? Somebody here. WACM equals what? Somebody here. So in this case here, I'm being given a figure there as 12.8571. 12.8571 all over WAP. Even the AP, the WAP already we have WAP. Can somebody give me this WAP? Can somebody give me this WAP? The weighted average price. What figure are we getting for weighted average price? Weighted average price, weighted average price. Whatever you've given me is working. Weighted average price, I'm being given 35. I'm being given 35.7143. 0.7143. Then could you kindly do me a favor and divide that? Divide, give us the quotient now. So take that, divide by 35.7143. No problem. 43. Aha. $12.85. So nasema ni 0.359999. Can we take that to be 0.36? 0.36, 0.35, 0.36 years, which is quite different from this. Actually, it's because maybe we have fewer products. If you have many products there, variance is normally very big. The variance is normally very big. So, ladies and gentlemen, once I've been able to get this, let's come and plug in here. Do we remember our fixed cost? 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 Fixed cost of the farm is? Fixed cost of the farm is 720,000. 720,000 all over WACMR, which is 0.36. 0.36, which in this case here will end up giving us what figures, ladies and gentlemen? Which will end up giving us what figures, ladies and gentlemen? It's early morning. You can only be safer this early morning if you keep on participating in this particular class. What we normally teach you in SGE, it's called participatory style of management. Participatory style of management. Always keep on giving us figures. We shall never again meet with you in CPA come any other semester in the future. That will be also always my prayer, that when we meet with you, it should be at ISPAC conferences, etc., etc. That will be really my pleasure. So amongst those methods we have done, ladies and gentlemen, so amongst those methods we have done, ladies and gentlemen, Yes. Which one in this case here do you think should we adopt? Which one is the better option amongst the three methods I've shown you of getting that revenue? Break even, of getting the revenue break even. Which one has sunk in? Which one has sunk in? Seemingly the second. November 2017, WAP quantity. November 2017, question number 4. November 2017, question number 4. November 2017, question number 4. I like CVP analysis because under CVP analysis, these guys here will give you a question that falls purely under CVP. And at times, ladies and gentlemen, margin of safety. There's a student who is asking about margin of what here? Margin of safety. How do we get margin of safety? Yes, to get margin of safety, ladies and gentlemen, is quite a simple thing. Sorry for that. To get margin of safety, what we normally call MOS, the MOS, margin of safety. So remember, if, for example, ladies and gentlemen, you have your break-even point being somewhere here, if this is your break-even point, of course, a good farm will be having its actual sales being up there. This could be revenue. The actual revenue must be up there, must be higher than the break-even point sales revenue. If that happens to be the case, then the difference between these two will be called MOS. So this MOS, the MOS, in terms of sales revenue, the MOS, ladies and gentlemen, will be equal to the actual sales. The actual sales minus the break-even sales, minus the break-even sales, minus the break-even sales. This will be equal to the actual sales minus the break-even what here? Sales. So actual sales minus the break-even sales. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember here that when we have quantities, they have given us for the two products X and Y, they have given us quantities to be sold. They've told us here, this is 30,000, this is 40,000. And then, of course, they have given us the selling prices, wakasema in 50, wakasema in 25. So could you kindly give me the total sales? Total sales. Could you kindly give me the total sales? So please multiply the two. This times this, give me an answer. This times this, give me an answer. Give me an answer. The two, kindly give me answers there. Total sales. Total sales. So we have here 30,000 times 50 on a part year. So I'm being given a figure of 1.5 million. How about this one here, somebody? How about product Y, the total sales? 1 million. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So then could you kindly come here and add the two for you to give me the grand total sales? The grand total sales. When you add the two, what do we have? 2.5 million. 2.5 million. 2.5 million. 2.5 million. So then this means that our margin of safety will be the 2.5 million minus the break-even sales that you guys gave me, which was what here? 2 million. 2 million. 2 million. So 2.5 million minus 2 million, which will end up giving us what figure, somebody here? 2.5 million minus 2 million, which will end up giving us what figure? 0.5 million. Thank you very much. So then that is 500,000. That is 500,000. Thank you and thank you very much. 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 Now also remember that you can come and calculate the MOS in terms of what here? Units. MOS in terms of units. So in terms of units, in this case here, you give us the actual sales quantity minus the break-even sales quantity. break-even sales quantity. However, ladies and gentlemen, this most in terms of units, for many product scenario, this one is never recommended. This one is never recommended, not recommended. This one is not recommended because of the aspect of combining units, which are not like terms, not recommended. So the one for multiple products we recommend is the sales, is the most where you count money instead of counting what year, instead of counting units. Somebody asked there, how do you get WACM? Remember, to get WACM, we normally take weight 1, contribution margin 1, plus weight 2, contribution margin 2, something like that. So it is something you should be able to follow. If somebody could take, in this case here, a snapshot of that particular solution, and then they send this into our WhatsApp group, we shall really, really appreciate. We shall really, really appreciate. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the next question. We go to the next question. November 2017. November 2017. Question number 4A. November 2017. Question number 4A. BPO Limited is planning to launch a new product into the market. This must be what here, Akisi, who said this question, BPO. They have a problem with B and what here, P. In order to determine the introduction selling price of the product, a market research was undertaken. The following information has been obtained from the research under two possible prices, that is shillings 300 and the shillings what here, 350 per unit. So we have selling price per unit 300. We have selling price per unit 350 and the various volumes. The variable production cost would be shillings 120 per unit for production volumes up to and including 100,000 units each year. However, if production exceeds 100,000 units each year, the variable production cost per unit would fall to shillings 110 for all the units produced. Advertising cost would be 9 million per annum at a selling price of 300 and 9.7 million per annum at a selling price of shillings 350. 3. Fixed production cost would be 4.5 million per annum, would be 4.5 million per annum. Advise the management of BPO Limited on the optimal selling price per unit for the new product. So in this kind of a question, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to look at as a good examiner is whether students will be able to unravel that mystery of variable cost. The variable costing there is what many students are not able to understand here. So what I'll do, I'll come and give them a table of contributions. Give them a contributions table. So we have a price of 300 and a price of 350. And then we have a quantity up to 100,000, quantity up to 100,000, and then we have quantity above 100,000. So quantity up to 100,000, and then quantity above 100,000. So quantity up to 100,000. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember, for us to get contribution margin, we normally take price minus who? We normally take price minus variable cost. We normally take price minus variable cost. Price minus variable cost. So like now here, remember for quantity up to 100,000, wamesema variable cost will be 120. But should we produce more than 100,000, our variable cost goes a little bit down to 100 what here? 10. Now, when the price is 300, and I want in this case here to get contribution margin, then I'll take a price of 300 minus the applicable variable cost of 120. The second scenario is where the price remains at 300, but now variable cost has gone down to 110. Could you kindly give me these figures? Kindly give me these figures. 300 minus 120 is 180. 180. And then 300 minus 190. Mumbi, you never used your calculator. You never used your calculator. So this gives me 190. How about the second scenario, the second price? How about the second price? How about the second price? So when price is 350 and the variable cost is 120, then this will be 350 minus 120. This will be 350 minus 110. So the first one equals what? The second one equals what? So Mumbi tells me that the first one is 230. Is 230. How about the second one? 240. So this is quite important for me. And these basically are contributions per what year? Per unit. These are contributions per unit. Contributions per unit. Contributions per unit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from there, I'll go ahead and do a profit schedule for my two prices. I'll start with the price of Kenya shillings 300. I'll start with the price of Kenya shillings 300. Price of Kenya shillings 300. Kenya shillings 300. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember for Kenya shillings 300, there are three possible volumes. There are three possible volumes. So quantity here will either be 120,000, 110,000, and then lastly we have 140,000. So I'm handling these prices kando. So then, ladies and gentlemen, I will be interested in the contribution margin which is applicable. The contribution margin which is applicable. And because I know that you are so seriously following, could you kindly give me the contribution margins that I'll use here? From that table that you have done up there, could you kindly give me the contribution margins that you shall use here? Give me the contribution margins that you shall use here. Elim tells me 190. Yes, it's 190, because you can see all these quantities fall where? Above 100,000, all of them. And because the price is 300, you're choosing between 180, 190. So here it will be 190, 190. All of them is 190 because each quantity here is above 300, is above 100,000. From there, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come and give my examiner the total contribution. I'll come and give my examiner the total contribution, which will be contribution margin times quantity. So this one here will be CM times quantity. Could you kindly give me those figures very fast? 120,000 times 190. 120,000 times 190. Somebody give me a figure. If possible, you can even cut 3 zeros. You can cut 3 zeros. So Caro gives me 22,800. Cut 3 zeros, 22,800. How about the second one? 110 times 190. 110. Cut 3 zeros. To make it simple, cut 3 zeros. So the second one, according to Caro, we're supposed to have 2900. Please cut 3 zeros, cut 3 zeros. Cut 3 zeros, cut 3 zeros, Shukri, 2,900. Thank you very much. The last one is 140 times 190, which gives me 26,600. 26,600. Now, ladies and gentlemen, once I've done that, the next thing will be to kill some cream out of this, because I want to get my profits. And it's not lost on me that profit is always equal to total contribution minus any other fixed cost, lump sum cost. So because I want profit, so I'll come here and write what your fixed cost. Fixed cost. So the fixed cost in this question that they have given us in note number 3, they have told us that the fixed cost, ladies and gentlemen, is what here is 4.5 million. So you can see it's 4.5 million for a whole year. Now here you have to be careful. If you get a bad examiner, you can easily get a 0. If you get a bad examiner will tell you that the quantities given there are monthly. The quantities given there are monthly, and then he goes ahead to tell you that fixed cost is on an annual basis. You need to know if the quantities given there were monthly, then these contributions here would have been a monthly contribution. So it would have either been good for me to convert this to an annual contribution or easily convert the fixed cost into a monthly fixed cost by dividing by 12. So here, of course, they never told us anything like that. This is a good examiner who wants everybody to pass. Just a good examiner. Like if I were an examiner, I would have been the best examiner because I would have allowed all my students here to do what here to pass. Yes. So in this case here, the fixed cost, there is nothing there. It's 4.5 million like that. So 3 zeros. 3 zeros, 4,500, 4,500. Now here again, this examiner would want to cheat you on something. You know, there are students who will think that once the examiner said fixed cost, that is no. I'll come and introduce like now here, the issue of what here? Advertising. Advertising cost, you can see it's periodical. It is 9 million for a whole year. It doesn't move with the number of units. So if it's 9 million for a whole year, for sure, it means that that is another example of what here? A fixed cost. So come and create a column here for what here? Somebody for advertisements. For adverts in shillings thousands. So in this case here, they gave you advertisement cost for two prices. The one of 300 is 9,000 regardless. 9,000 regardless. 9,000 regardless. Is it regardless or irregardless? So to get profit, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking our total contributions minus this, minus that. So 22,800 minus 4,500 minus 9,000, you give me a figure. So Mumbi gives me a figure of 9,300. 9,300. 9,300. How about the second one? 2,900 minus 4,500 minus 9,000. Minus 9,000. Elim tells me it is 7,400. 7,400, sorry. 7,400. And then we have 26,600 minus 4,500 minus 9,000, giving me what figure? Somebody here, 13,100. 13,100. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is now the stage at which the probabilities you are given there will play its role. They are roles. So this examiner gave us probabilities for the price of 300. We have our probabilities of 0.4, 0.5, 0.1. So we have here probabilities. So 0.4, 0.5, 0.1. So then that will be able to help me to average. So now I need to come and give my examiner the expected profit. Should we go this approach, what will be our expected profit? Our expected profit here will be 9,300 times 0.4 plus 7,400 times 0.5 plus 13,100, 13,100 times 0.1. Could you kindly give me this answer? Could you kindly give me this expected profit? Kindly give me this expected profit. So Mumbi tells me it is 87.30. But it's only one student who has been able to give me that figure. I can't buy it. I can't buy it. I can't. You can see Caro has come with 37.20. But 37.20 is on the lower side. You know, if it's an average, it has to be close to at the middle of these figures. So it's supposed to be 87 what here? 87, 30. 87.30, that is it. 87.30, that is it. So ladies and gentlemen, could you kindly do me a favor? Please give me the profit schedule for this price of Kenya shillings 350. This profit schedule for a price of Kenya shillings 300. Now do the one for Kenya shillings 350. Please, please, please. For 350, please. For 300. So we are doing a profit schedule for this particular price of 350. And for the price of 350, our contribution margins will be obtained from there. And now here we are. So we copy down the quantities of 350, which are 108,000, 100,000, and 94,000. So for a price, for quantity of 108,000, Remember, 108,000 is above 100,000. So in that case, we shall pick 240,000. And then 100,000, exactly 100,000, we shall go to the first range. Quantity up to 100,000 is 230. Of course, 94,000 is way below 100, so 230 is applicable. So please come and give me the total contribution. Come and give me the total contribution. Could you kindly multiply? The first one, somebody tells me it is 25. The first one is 25,920. 25,920. How about the second one? 23,000. 23,000. How about the third one, the last one? We are taking this by this. 21,620. Have they given us the fixed cost? Have they given us the fixed cost? Regardless, 4,500. Do we have advertising cost at this price? Advertising cost, of course, the advertisement cost of this higher price has to be more, because you have to push more the product in the market. 9,700, 9,700, 9,700. So if that is the case, ladies and gentlemen, come here and give us our profit. Go there and give us our profit. So how do we get profit? We'll take total contribution minus this minus that. 11,720, 11,720, and then we have now this minus that. 88,000, 8,800, 8,800, and then the last one, the profit here will be equal to 7420, 7420. So have they given us the probabilities? Have they given us probabilities? Yes. 0.3, 0.3, 0.4. 0.3, 0.3, 0.4. So please come here and give us the expected. Give us the expected profit. So how do I get expected profit? I'm taking 11,720 times 0.3 plus 8,800 times 0.3 plus 7420 times 0.4. Please give us a figure. Please give us a figure. Please give us a figure. It cannot be 24. It can't. 9124. 9124. 9124. 9124. So now please compare the two expected profits and advise us. Which price do you think is optimal? Which one should we charge? Which price should we charge? Which price should we charge? Which price should we charge? I'm being told that Kenya shillings 350 will give us a higher expected profit. Kenya shillings 350 will give us a higher expected profit. Kenya shillings 350 will give us a higher expected profit. Kenya shillings 350 will give us a higher expected profit. A higher expected profit. Will give us a higher expected profit. A higher expected profit. Will give us a higher expected profit.